Welcome to this explainer on leading interdisciplinary teams in BESS and alternative energy. Today, we're looking squarely at the incredibly fast-paced, high-stakes world of battery energy storage systems, or BESS for short. This sector is literally driving the modern energy transition, and it's doing so at absolute breakneck speed under massive pressure. But, as we're going to see, the single biggest hurdle in this space actually has very little to do with the technology itself. Nope, it has everything to do with the people building it.
So here's the million-dollar question. How do you bridge the communication gap between technical specialists and commercial stakeholders? For all you engineering leads and project directors tuning in, how on earth do you manage to keep these lightning-fast energy projects on track when completely different worlds collide? On one hand, you've got brilliant technical specialists, right? They're zeroed in on the microscopic details of how everything works. And then, on the other hand, you've got commercial stakeholders hyper-focused on macroeconomic realities, timelines, budgets, returns, the whole shebang. When these two sides come together, well, sparks fly, and not always the good kind.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, the BESS Leadership Challenge, specifically focusing on navigating aggressive project timelines.
Let's start with the immense pressure cooker of this industry. We're talking about strict industrial schedules, where even minor delays can cost millions. Succeeding in this environment requires so much more than just pure technical oversight. You can't just be the smartest engineer in the room anymore. To really succeed, you've got to be the conductor of a highly complex orchestra. Think about who you're managing. You have software developers writing the code that manages the energy grid, electrochemists who understand the exact chemical degradation of the battery cells, and project finance experts calculating risk, yield, and asset depreciation. Under these incredibly tight timelines, these vastly different experts absolutely must pull in the exact same direction. Because if the electrochemist and the software developer aren't totally aligned with the finance expert's timeline, well, the entire project stalls.
Moving right along to Section 2, where teams create friction, looking at the clash of disciplines.
Now, it's super easy to just assume, hey, everyone wants this project to succeed, so things will naturally work out, right? But good intentions just aren't enough when the disciplines themselves are fundamentally at odds. We can see this stark difference in mindset when we pit the lab against the boardroom. Think about it for a second. The lab, your electrochemists and software developers, prioritizes safety, precision, rigorous testing. They want to get the science exactly right, no matter how long it takes. But the boardroom, your project finance experts and commercial stakeholders, they prioritize speed to market, financial viability, and strict adherence to those super aggressive schedules we just talked about. They're literally looking at the exact same project through entirely different lenses.
So here's the crucial takeaway. When these diverse disciplines lack a shared language, you don't just get tiny misunderstandings. Oh no, you get communication silos. And communication silos equal cultural friction. It's practically guaranteed. The technical team starts feeling rushed and totally misunderstood, while the commercial team feels ignored and delayed. This cultural friction directly and severely impacts project execution. It bogs down the exact decision-making processes that desperately need to be lightning fast.
And this brings us to a massive paradigm shift captured perfectly right here. The real leadership challenge isn't solving the engineering equations, it is translating complex cross-domain insights. Your job as a leader in asset management and the energy transition, actually scratch that, it's more like a mandate. Your job is no longer just solving technical problems. The math works out, the science is sound. Your true job is acting as the master translator between these warring factions.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, 3 actionable leadership strategies, focusing on aligning cross-functional teams. So how do we actually align these cross-functional teams and accelerate decision-making when the pressure is really on? Well, we've pulled out 3 actionable leadership strategies from our source material that you can apply literally right now. Let's walk through them. Step 1, you've got to consciously move beyond pure technical oversight. You have to let go of being the chief problem solver for those engineering equations and really step into the role of a facilitator. Step 2 is where the heavy lifting happens. Translate complex cross-domain insights. This means taking a highly technical risk identified by the electrochemist and explaining it in clear terms of financial impact to the boardroom, and vice versa. And finally, Step 3, unify the language from lab to boardroom. By actively translating, you're creating a shared vocabulary, a middle ground, if you will, so that absolutely everyone understands the project's holistic goals. By embracing these 3 steps, leaders effectively become that essential, unshakable bridge between the different factions. And that brings us to our final part, Section 4, Aligning for Faster Execution, subtitled Breaking the Silos. At the end of the day, all of this theory, All this translation and leadership adaptation, it all has to serve one singular, absolutely vital purpose for your BSS project: getting to a point where everyone speaks the same language. When you successfully act as that cross-domain translator, you shatter those silos. The friction just dissipates. Suddenly, the software developer understands the financial constraints, the commercial stakeholder genuinely respects the chemical limitations, and boom, decision-making accelerates. The project gets right back on track because the entire team is finally, truly pulling in the exact same direction. It's a real game changer.
So I'll leave you with a final thought regarding your own interdisciplinary teams. How many languages are you currently speaking on your project floor? Seriously, take a look at your current projects. Are your software developers, electrochemists, and finance experts talking totally past each other? Because if they are, that friction is already there, quietly eating away at your timeline and your budget. I challenge you to step up, move beyond just pure technical oversight, and start translating those critical insights today. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.